Guys, I love inequality, and I'm going to tell you why I believe that inequality is important for a thriving society and is important for most people in the world. Most people can benefit from inequality. And let me explain what I'm talking about. Imagine there are two rooms. One room is a room where you can be with Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. And the other room is a room where you can be with someone that is as wealthy as you or is just poor. In which room would you prefer to be? I prefer to be in a room where I have the most inequality. Because if I meet Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, maybe we can do some kind of business. I can be their employee. I can get funding from them. And if I'm in a room with like just poor people, we cannot invest in each other. We cannot hire each other. And that's why we need some level of inequality. Now, let me clarify a little bit what kind of inequality I'm talking about. I'm talking about meritocratic, egalitarian inequality, okay? I'm not talking about inequality that comes from political corruption, from scams, from dirty stuff, okay? And let me give you an example. So I have lived in Africa in 2014, in Angola. Angola has huge inequality, and it's the bad kind of inequality. It's inequality that comes from corruption, from political stuff, basically just from people stealing from the others. That inequality is, of course, very, very bad. Okay, and it doesn't work. But if you have inequality where in a country where you have rule of law, property rights, and everyone, when they are born, they have the same opportunities, egalitarian societies can have inequality and should have inequality. So a lot of people in social media saying, oh, inequality is bad and this and that, the inequality is increasing. No, the inequality is not bad. If the inequality is increasing and you are living in Africa or in Russia, yes, that inequality is bad. But honestly, if you are in a developed country, if you are in Europe, in the UK, in the US, in Hong Kong, where I'm at the moment, Hong Kong is one of the most unequal places on earth. Hong Kong has like hundreds of billionaires. It's like the place in the world with the highest number of billionaires. I love being in Hong Kong. I love the inequality because it gives me so many opportunities. And that's why I'm here, okay? So, yes, inequality is important. And before you think, oh, this guy is like privileged, white guy privileged. No, like when I was 12, 13 years old, me and my mom, we had to go to the church to get food, okay? We had like almost extreme poverty because my parents got divorced when I was 10, full of debts, like almost losing the house. There was no money for food, literally, okay? And now here I am, and that was not the only place in time when I was actually very poor. 10 years ago, not 10 years ago, 9 years ago, I had a failed business. I was scammed. After that, I had a very nasty health situation, a health problem. And after that, I was broke, extreme poverty, okay? Literally, I barely had money for food. And now I'm back at the top. So the most important thing when it comes to society is mobility. And yes, there is inequality, but it's important to ensure that governments ensure that, okay, poor people have the opportunities to get rich, okay? That's what's important here, okay? Because probably I was born in a developed country, fairly developed, kind of, so I was born in Portugal. But you have opportunities. You can move up on the society, okay? Anyone, you can use your work, your intelligence, your brain, your entrepreneurship skills, and you can become rich, and that's it. Of course, again, if you are born in certain countries where they're full of corruption and there is no opportunities, that's bad. I feel sad, and I hope those people also have the opportunity to grow and build wealth and have the same opportunities as everyone else. But if you are born in a first world country and you complain about inequality, really, shut the fuck up. Really, I've been extremely poor family, and people go up or down. And also another thing in rich countries, most millionaires and billionaires is first generation. It's not people that inherit the wealth, okay? It's self-made people. Anyone can be self-made. And most of these people that are now millionaires or billionaires, when they were like 20 years old, they were definitely not billionaires. They were kind of poor. I was definitely poor, definitely poor. And that's why it irritates me so much to see people talking, complaining about inequality when they live in the fucking UK. Really, just go work, build a business, bust your ass like I do, and maybe you'll go somewhere. Anyway, this is not the usual video, but there is tons of data that backs what I was just saying. Again, inequality is good as everyone has the same opportunities. And if you are born poor and you are in a developed country, there is no excuse to die poor, literally. Of course, if you are born poor in an extremely poor country, if you are born poor in North Korea, yeah, unfortunately, there is nothing you can do. But if you are born poor in Europe or US or UK, or like, come on, just just do your work, do your part. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.